Hello, my love, and welcome to the Energy Expansion Podcast. I am your host, Dani Kenney, and as always, I'm so incredibly excited to be here with you. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. We're thrilled to have you here. Pull up a seat and grab your favorite beverage. Tune in for a really fun, empowering, inspiring, hopefully motivating conversation. That's what I feel like we have in store for you today. And if you are back and you've been here before, if this is not your first rodeo, especially if you've been tuning in over the last few weeks, then you have probably heard about this personal challenge that I'm up to, what I've been calling 39 to 39. Put simply, it is 39 live videos leading up to my 39th birthday. And we're trucking along, we're making it happen. And what we've been doing, and this wasn't necessarily part of the plan, but there are certain conversations that I've been having with my community during this 39 to 39 experience, experiment, challenge, whatever we want to call it. There are particular conversations, and don't get me wrong, I am obsessed with every single one of these. And there are too many to even share all of them on the podcast with you. Like, literally, if we're doing 39 videos and there's 52 weeks in a year and we do one episode per week, this would basically take up the entire podcast for all of this year. And that's not necessarily what I want. So I highly recommend that if you've been loving the last few episodes, definitely head over either to my Instagram or to my Facebook. My handles where you can find me on social media is literally just my name, Dani Kenney, and allow yourself to receive the gift of every single one of those conversations. But what I've been doing for the last few weeks is basically pulling just one of the many conversations we've been having together and sharing them here with you for a multitude of reasons. First of all, I know that not everybody sees everything on social media. Second, I know that I have a lot of listeners here who are not active on social media. And third, I know that even if you're picking up bits and pieces of these conversations wherever you can find them, it's really nice to come here and have it in one place. The other thing that feels extra special and quite different about how I've been sharing these episodes the last few weeks is that the conversations that I've been taking off of social media and sharing with you on the podcast also have almost an after hours element to them. What do I mean by that? It's not a surprise to me that the last few conversations I've shared with you here are conversations that happened to have gone down on a Monday morning. There is something about a Monday, the energy of a fresh start, that has me feel exceptionally fired up. What also happens on Mondays is that I go live every single Monday morning with the women inside of Energy Expansion Academy. And so the last few Mondays, I will go live on my public social media profile and then carry on that conversation and take it even deeper for the women inside of EEA. And we've got just over a dozen women there. And so really, truly, it's quite an intimate conversation. And I have shared bits and pieces of that with you. I do want you to know that because it is a private community, I edit out people's names. If there are certain ways that I'm supporting people, specific questions that the women inside of Energy Expansion Academy are asking and wanting support around, I actually extract those pieces out because I really want to honor their confidentiality. And so what I share with you here are aspects of our after hours behind the scenes conversation that apply directly to what I'm sharing openly and publicly. And so outside of being one of our active Energy Expansion Academy members, there's no other way that you would hear this conversation. And so this is not something I'm going to be doing for the long haul. It just feels really relevant with, again, the things we've been talking about, the topics, the tools, the lessons, the stories that have been part of this 39 to 39 challenge, that it feels fitting and special to get to bring you in behind the scenes a bit. So We have another one of those episodes today. So, in just a minute, I'm going to hand it over to a version of Dani from Monday morning where I was sitting in my car feeling so inspired after taking my kids to school right before my official work day started. And so you'll hear me go into that. And then right in the middle, it's pretty obvious where the shift happens in that conversation. And so I hope you love being a part of this conversation as much as I do. My love, oh my goodness, it feels so good to be back here with you after taking a really glorious, fun, nourishing, long weekend. Hubby and I got to head out for a couple of days to celebrate a very close friend's 40th birthday. It was literal medicine for the soul, just being with some of our close friends and laughing and connecting and not worrying about a darn thing because my mom flew in from out of town to take care of the kids. So I knew that they were having the best time ever. And here we are. It is smack dab the middle of March. This morning, I was doing my morning pages, and there were certain themes that were coming up that I was feeling called to share with you because they were feeling really helpful and supportive for me. It was the loving kick in the pants that I was needing, and I'm going to share them with you because I have a feeling you're going to enjoy this and benefit from this. I was writing out that this has been an incredible, like incredible in all caps. This has been a really incredible month so far. And the game that I'm playing right now is the game that I'm playing with myself, with God, with life is how can it get even better? If it's been incredible, how can we take it up a couple of notches? This is my favorite game to play in life. And I really sit with that and I ask that question. The other day when I was waking up at literally one of my favorite resorts in the entire world, it's the Omni in La Costa. I was laying horizontal in bed, wrapped up in their very cozy, comfy bathrobes, and I was watching the sun come up. And something that I teach my clients, this comes from a body of work known as Access Consciousness, which is amazing. I love it. I highly recommend that you go down that rabbit hole. It's something very simple. And it's like when there are these like peak pinnacle moments where the results, the outcome, the thing that you desired is here, when you love how you're feeling. I don't know that the whole thing is from Access Consciousness, but I've created this sort of signature blend of what I like to say. And that is, yes, please. More, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, life. Thank you, intuition, highest self, for choosing this timeline. And then the important part is asking the question, and how does it get even better than this? So I've reached this new peak. That's when we use these moments of like the clouds open up and you're like, this is it. This is as good as it gets. And that's actually where this comes from, because that's a saying, like, there's no way it could get better than this, or this is as good as it gets. Do not get stuck in that trap, because if you say, this is it, or this is it, this is as good as it gets, doesn't get any better than this, guess what happens? You are then creating, it's coming from a place of love and appreciation and excitement and gratitude, but you know what you're actually doing? You're creating a wall. So your energy says, oh, she can't handle anymore. This is as good as it gets. It doesn't get any better than this. And so instead, teeny tiny thing, you change the tone, the octave, the pronunciation, and you add a question mark. Life loves questions, because when you ask a question, your subconscious mind goes on a journey of answering that question. That's how it works. You're not meant to answer it consciously. You just ask God, life, intuition, show me this thing. What would it take? What would it feel like? What would it be like? I wonder. I do a lot of like, I wonder, fill in the blank, journaling. And it's that I wonder, I don't know the science behind it, but I swear it creates the fastest manifestations. I was laying in bed watching the sunset and I said, yes, please, more, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How can it get even better than this? Show me. Let's open it up. Let's expand it. Let's elevate it. Let's take it to the next level. That's how I've been feeling about the month of March. It's been amazing. It's been incredible. We're right at the halfway point. What would it take to have it be even more extraordinary, even more mind-blowing? So I could end this video and just leave it at that and have you take that and play with it, but I'm going to take it one step further. So what I started looking at was, I know that I'm in constant co-creation with life, with God. I know that I am not the sole creator of my life experience. Yes, I play a massive role in that, but I know that there's something bigger at play, and I get to play with that. I get to use that. I get to tap into that. And guess what? I'm sharing this with you because the same is true for you too. And that being said, I was looking at, what role do I get to play in having the second half of March be the most iconic, the most incredible? And I'm really honestly playing with this theme of like, lock it in, lock it the F in, Dani. There's a lot of things that I have locked in and dialed in and that are working really well. But there's this 5 to 10%, which is not very much, but it's more than I'm okay with. There's this 5 to 10% of my life, of each day, where I find myself in negotiation with myself around the things that I know I need to do. And this isn't like an external should. This is what I was writing about. One of the things I was writing about in my morning pages this morning was the things that I need to do. I'll give you some examples in just a moment, are also the things that deep down I want to do. Because the things that I know that I need to do are the same things that are going to give me the results that I want. Like, help me feel the way that I want to feel in my business, in my health, in my relationships, in my finances, and how I take care of myself. So it's not like an external should, and I'm like, well, I should probably do those things. It's like, girl, if this is what you want, this is what life is asking of you. And I find again that throughout the day, every day, there are moments of me being super dialed in, like getting it done. And then other moments where I get out of my heart and up into my head. And it's like, you don't need to do that today. That's not that big of a deal. You can skip it. And I'm becoming like keenly aware of these things. I love data. I love tracking. So today is day 14 of our go live experiment, day 24 of morning pages, wrapped up a full month of the Vitality Revival Health Challenge. So still continuing on with all of the foundational practices, but starting day 1 today of the gut reset. And I really think that's where this theme of lock it in came in, because I've done it once before. I was 99%, which I was really happy with, 99% compliant. And I know I can do this. I know the results are amazing, but I'm experiencing an insane amount of resistance. And I'm already noticing, oh, you can color outside of the lines over there. And I think that there are seasons where it's way more free flowing, where we do color outside of the lines, where it's not a big deal to let that slip. But I'm not in a season like that. I'm choosing because I want it. I want what's on the other side of this. I am in a lock it in season. I am in we are not negotiating with ourselves and our desires and what we know we deserve season. That's the season I'm in. So I like to do things in bite-sized increments. And so really what I'm going to play with is just this week. 1 week. That is it. At the start of the week, I'm like really in the energy of, what do I want? What's my desired way of being, of feeling? What am I up to? What am I committed to creating? And this is an exciting week. This is the Energetics of Business Week, a live event that I'm really excited about. It's going to be amazing. And also with the things I'm committed to, I'm not going to have the ease and the luxury and the comfort of being at my own home with all my things. This week really does require that if I'm going to stick to the program, if I'm going to keep my promises to myself, lock it in has got to be the theme. And so I'm personally very fired up. I'm sure you can feel the energy of that, but I'm also really excited and lit up about this. And I know I can do this. And I also know that there is a level of needing to show up for myself a little bit more than I already always do. And so my theme for this week, as we are now officially into the second half of March, is lock it in. Do the things you know you need to do, because at least for me, the things that I need to do are ultimately the things I want to do, because they're the things that are going to get me to where I want to go, that are going to help me feel how I want to feel, create, be, experience, achieve my deepest desires. And I know that I'm not alone in that. And so I wanted to share that with you. Let me know how this lands. A couple of things that feel really important to share with you before I hop off and go do my workout, because that's one of my favorite things to negotiate. And that's not happening today, is momentum. Inside of DKC, which is Dani Kenney Coaching. Hello. If we haven't met, I'm Dani Kenney, is our March Momentum deal. Momentum is a 4-week self-paced experience, super simple, super powerful. This is one of those accelerated programs that I've created. When I say accelerated, I mean in 4 weeks, it is really miraculous the kinds of results that you're able to experience when you have the right tools, steps, guidance in place. And that is exactly what momentum is all about. And if you hear, I'm on my own version of that journey. Again, I think I said it in the beginning. I love data. I love tracking things. So I'm on these various journeys, doing certain things every single day. And I'm having a lot of fun looking at how far can I take this? And when I am feeling tempted to negotiate with myself, it's like, well, Dani, you have already gotten yourself this far and you didn't only come this far to only come this far. So let's lock it the F in and keep going. And a lot of my mindset around that, and what has allowed me to create so much success, not just on paper, but what feels truly satisfying and fulfilling and successful for me and my own definition of that, are the same things that I teach you inside of Momentum, the 4-week experience. That is normally a $444 program. It is well worth every penny. We've had hundreds of women go through the program and they would say it is worth it. This month, it is $88. One payment of $88 will get you lifetime access to Momentum, the 4-week experience. You'll get daily emails for accountability to keep you on track. You also get access to our Momentum content portal, so you can log in and you can skip ahead or go back or access the bonus tools literally at your fingertips. We have a free app that goes along with the program. And then for this month only, if you've been following along, I've been on this Go Live. This is our 14th live, if I didn't already say that. This Go Live visibility journey. I actually have a course called Go Live, the 10-day visibility accelerator. And because I am using the tools from Momentum in my own life and business right now, and I am using everything I teach inside of Go Live, I'm giving you Go Live as a bonus, completely free, a gift from me to you. So you're getting 2 of these literally life-changing programs, these DKC experiences. You're getting both of them lifetime access for $88. Normally, if you were to buy these separately off of our website, our like university store, it'd be over $600. I'm in full celebration of everyone who's already been a yes to that and is on their momentum journey. And then the second thing is, and you're going to hear me talk a lot more about this, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, her name is Jolie Dawn. I've known this woman for over 15 years, and our paths have bobbed and weaved and crossed in so many ways, personally and professionally. And this has been one of my favorite seasons of our friendship, and really more than anything now, our partnership. I've been able to work alongside her in the growth and expansion of her business and supporting her clients. Gosh, going on 3 consecutive years. All right, love, real quick pause because I have to tell you about something that is truly life-changing. If you've been in my world for any amount of time, then there is a 99.9% chance that you have heard me talk about Energy Expansion Academy, which is my signature group coaching program where I teach the exact tools, rituals, mindset shifts that helped me create a life that goes beyond my wildest dreams and has transformed the lives of hundreds of women that I've had the honor of serving. And for the first time ever, it is now available as a self-paced experience. That means you get to move through this powerful transformation on your own terms, in your own timing, and in full alignment with your life. This is for the woman who's ready to shift her energy, elevate her mindset, and finally become the most confident, fulfilled, and successful version of herself, without the hustle, without the overwhelm, and without the second guessing. If you've been feeling the nudge to join us inside of EEA, then this, my love, is your sign. You'll find the link in the show notes or just DM me EEA on Instagram and I'll personally send it your way. Now, let's get back to the episode that you came for. This is wild. Actually, River just turned 4, so we'll be getting ready to go on our 4th consecutive year. Time freaking flies when you're doing things you love with people you love. I can't believe it's going to be 4 years. And so I am partnering with her in so many ways, but one of the ways is I get to be a speaker, and one of the partners for her Dare to Prosper challenge. This is the 8th year of Dare to Prosper. There are tens of thousands of women who have been through this experience. It starts 1 week from today. I will get you the link to join us, completely free, absolutely life-changing. The tools that this woman is going to share during the free Dare to Prosper experience have completely transformed my life. They're a huge reason and contributor to the success that I've experienced in my business. And so I'm very passionate about sharing this with you and anyone else who could benefit from these. So I hope to see you inside of Momentum. Snag that March deal. There's only a couple more weeks for that, as well as Dare to Prosper. Type the keywords March and or DTP to get the links to those, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Mwah. Hello, my loves. Let's dive into this. Really quick recap. The conversation that I was having on my open public profiles earlier this morning is a really powerful one. And it was touching on the fact, like we had mentioned, that we are right smack dab in the middle of the month of March. And so it's a really great point. I'm doing this. I want to encourage you to do this, to look back at what's working, what feels good, what am I liking, what do I want more of, what do I want less of. And I had shared that March has been incredible. And also there's more. There's more that I want and more I desire to create and what I want to experience. And I was getting really honest with myself around the role that I get to play in creating my desired results and outcomes for this month. There's a lot of ways where I feel like I have things super dialed in, really organized, really proud of myself. And at the exact same time, I can see the way that I have been negotiating with myself, AKA a really nice way of saying, making excuses, of postponing, procrastinating, pushing things off until it creates stress and anxiety and pressure. How many of you can relate to that? I'm admitting that I'm doing that in some ways. I want to say there's probably like 5 to 10% of various areas of my life where I'm pushing off things that I know need to be happening sooner than I'm doing them. That's what I mean when I say negotiating with myself. My higher self, God, life is like, hey, Dani, you want this thing? Cool, noted. God, universe, Holy Spirit, life, they're going to do all the things that they need to do. They're going to do their part. And also, guess what it requires? It requires my active participation as well. Just like you creating what you desire in your life requires your active participation. Are you with me? And so I'm noticing the ways where I'm like, okay, cool, got it, see it, yes, plan, do this, do that. And then I'm like, hesitating, wondering, second guessing, waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting for permission, waiting for a sign, waiting for validation, whatever it is. And we're just not going to do that anymore. Like, I am not available for that. I got very keenly aware of that this morning. No more negotiating with the things that you know are good and right and aligned for you. Now, this is a slightly different conversation than someone saying, well, you should do this and you should do that. And you know what? You can go over there with your shoulds. This is not about external pressure or someone telling you what you have to do or handing you a formula. No, what I'm talking about around locking it in, and not negotiating with yourself has to do with the things that you actually know are right for you. The things that are going to lead you to what it is that you desire. Yeah. And there's probably a piece of you that's afraid to succeed, that's afraid to have what it is that you want, which is where the negotiation comes in, which is where the second guessing and the doubting and the hesitating and the waiting and all of the things come in. Are you with me? So we're not going to do that, at least for 1 week. We're just going to try this on for 1 week. That's what I was sharing before when I went live on the various platforms. But what I want to dig into with you are a couple of really exciting, energetic, astrological, magical things that are happening this week. In the collective consciousness, this feels like a really big deal. And that was not on my mind when I was journaling this morning, but when I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you here inside of Energy Expansion Academy, and then this conversation around lock it in, no more negotiation. What is it that you want? What is it that you're creating? I was like, oh, we've got a new moon this week, which is all about new beginnings, planting new seeds, creating a new experience, like new manifestations. And it's not just any new moon, but it is the last new moon of the astrological year. It's the new moon in Pisces. This is cool. I was like, oh wow. I wonder if all of these ideas and this energetic reset and realignment and recalibration has anything to do with the energy. This week feels like a really big energetic week. It feels like a week of shifts and breakthrough. You feel that with me? So a couple of things and then we'll dig a little bit deeper. Wednesday, March 18th is the new moon that we're just talking about right now. And then just a few days later, on Friday, is the spring equinox. Fam, this is a really big deal because honestly, since December of last year, leading up to the quote unquote new year, we've been talking about these 3 new year portals and how they all serve a purpose and they're all important. And also, speaking of importance, it's important for you to discern what feels like the true new beginnings for you. So there's January 1st. This year on February 17th, we had the Lunar New Year and the Chinese New Year. And here we are. This is the third and final official New Year portal. You can have your own New Year portal. Like my birthday is just a few weeks later. A lot of people on their birthday, that can be a New Year portal, a new beginning portal. So you really get to decide, choose, attune to, and align with your own new beginning. You don't have to be tapped into whatever anyone else is saying. This is like a permission slip just in case you were needing it. But this is when we're talking about these 3 sort of collective energetic New Years. This is the third and final one. So spring equinox is March 20th, and March 20th is also the start of the astrological new year, which means we are stepping into Aries season. A few things to keep in mind. Again, new moon, for the most part, represents new beginnings. With this being a new moon in Pisces and the last one of the entire zodiac, this is in full support, although it's new beginnings. There's simultaneously this energy of completion. Pisces is a water sign. Water has to do with our emotions. And so you may, maybe not, experience heightened emotions. Pisces also has to do with our intuition, our connection to something bigger, the realm of what spirituality means to us. A lot of energy around dreams, what the future holds, which feels very deeply aligned with the conversation around don't negotiate with yourself, because your dreams are going to require your active participation. Now, spring equinox, this new year energy, this is when day and night are almost in perfect equal balance. I don't know how many of you feel like daylight savings was in fact not saving you, but it was trying to kill you. I felt like that last week. I cannot remember a time in my life when I was as negatively impacted like savings as I was last week. So all of this is happening to put us in this place of balance and renewal, rebirth, alignment. These are all themes that come into play with spring equinox. You might feel the call to do some decluttering, hence spring cleanings, the season of spring actually being here. This level of newness, when we think about what's happening in the spring, this is where the seed that was planted in winter in the darkness is starting to come up and sprout and not quite be in full bloom per se. That's more of the summer energy, but in the early phases of blooming and coming back to life, hence the energy of rebirth. That's what so much of this is representing. And so you really get to look at, what do I want to clear out to make space so that I can be ready for full bloom? What am I making space for? Where am I craving more balance? Where am I craving more alignment? That is really bringing me back to this conversation of lock it in and no negotiation. This really isn't a huge issue, but that 5 to 10% of the negotiating with myself does not actually feel aligned. And so I'm looking at what is being asked of me to change. And it makes sense that these questions are intuitively coming up this week, because this is a week that represents change. This is a week that represents newness. This is a week that represents creation. What is it that you're creating? And what is the creation of the new asking of you? What is wanting to be planted? What are those things that you're ready to experience in the season of newness and the season of creation that we're stepping into? And then also, again, simultaneously, March 20th is not just the spring equinox, but it aligns perfectly with the astrological new year. So stepping into Aries season, which I love because this aligns really beautifully with the year of the fire horse. Aries is a fire sign. It is bold. It is leadership energy. It is taking aligned action. It is like taking the bull by the horns, if you will, and saying, let's freaking do this. Let's go. So there's a lot of energy this week supporting powerful, aligned forward motion and momentum. So leadership, action, courage, stepping into personal power, making moves. That's really what we're stepping into as we step further into this week. And I love this for us. And I wanted to make sure that I shared those themes with you in addition to these other conversations that we were having together earlier today. And without further ado, I'm going to send you off into your day. I love you so much. I feel very excited that I get to squeeze and hug and play with many of you this week in person. And for those of you I don't get to see in person, I really hope that I get to see you on Wednesday for our Zoom session. All right, Energy Expansion Pod Squad, we did it. That pretty much wraps up today's episode. So before I send you off into your day, I just want to thank you for tuning in and for listening to this episode and to any and every other episode that you may have had the chance to tune into. It really means the world to have you here with me. I genuinely hope that you loved receiving this message as much as I loved sharing it with you. And as always, I really enjoy hearing from you. So if there's anything you want to share with me, if there was an aha moment, an insight, if there's anything you're wanting to learn more about, if I touched on something that had you feel curious, pop out of wherever you're listening to this episode and send me a message. Send me a message on social media. I'd love to continue this conversation with you. And if you found this helpful, oh my goodness, it would mean the world if you take a quick screenshot, share it on your social media, and or share this episode with a friend. And then this is a loving reminder. We are still very much in the month of March. And if you missed our episode last week, which was all about momentum, that is my personal theme for the month of March. It has been for many years. You can go back and listen to learn more about the why behind that. But we've got an insane deal happening this month within our DKC, Dani Kenney Coaching brand. one of our top selling transformational courses is known as Momentum, the 4-week experience. This is something that I find myself going back to again and again because it is so powerful, so helpful. And here's the thing, it freaking works. It's simple and it works, and the results speak for themselves, not just in my personal and professional life, but with the hundreds of women who have also said yes and gifted themselves this amazing experience. This course has previously been sold for $444 as a standalone 4-week experience. Right now, for the month of March, you can snag it for one payment of $88. One payment, not $88 every month or every week. You pay $88 one time and you get lifetime access to Momentum, the 4-week experience, as well as I'm gifting this to you just for the month of March. It is called Go Live, our 10-day visibility accelerator. When I had shared with my online community that I was taking myself through this fun 39 to 39 live video challenge, so many of you said, I want to go on this journey with you. And so the Go Live Visibility Accelerator is chock full of prompts and tips and tools and resources to support you on your visibility journey, if that's something that you feel called to. That course is sold on our website for $197. So right now, the month of March 2026, you're getting both of these courses, lifetime access to them, for less than $100. You're getting over $600 worth of DKC coaching programs for less than $100. Grab it, $88 in the show notes. I hope to see you inside of Momentum.